a little bit about the source of this book, where it started, what was the impetus?
It started very much out when I finished my first novel, which is kind of a contemporary realistic novel, and I wanted to do something completely different. So I worked for 4 years every day, wrote about 800 pages with beginnings, didn't find anything. I knew I was looking for something, but not what I was looking for. And then I started to write short stories just to finish something. And in one of those short stories there was an appearance of an angel. And I thought maybe I should go into it and see what this is. And then I started to read about angels, started to read the Bible, and became kind of obsessed with it. So I wrote an essay on 100 pages about angels. When the starting point is that everything in the Bible is true. And I wanted to publish it, like an essay on angels. And my publishing house said, okay, we can do that. Then I had a colleague, who I respect very much, called Erik Lund, who called me to read it and said, but you have to tell stories. You can't publish this, you have to tell stories. And then I thought, okay, he's right. And I started to look into the Bible, thinking, okay, I can retell some of these stories with angels in them.
I opened it up. It is not flashy. It begins as a kind of a, as you know, a faux biography of a 16th century theologian. Something about the voice, something about the sincerity that is wise and not foolish dragged me right in. It was the courage of Karl Knausgaard, the author, to delve right into the subject without apology, to introduce us to this fictional character, Antinous, and to go right into the exegesis, biblical exegesis, and then to move almost seamlessly into a retelling of several biblical stories, Ezekiel, Cain and Abel, Noah, and the Great Flood, in a way that was absolutely contemporary, that was spellbinding.
I think when I read the Bible and saw the story about Cain and Abel, which is a story everybody knows, it's a big story, and I saw it's only 6 lines or something, which is a huge compression, and then I tried to go in there and make it like a realistic story, and I took 100 pages to tell the exact same story, but in a kind of realistic landscape.
So, and you also had in an interview made a wonderful allusion to this false document, and the false document I mean is Valori's opus on angels, on the nature of angels. But really central to the book is his struggle to uncover and explore and find the truth behind the revelation he had in childhood about 2 fallen angels fishing in the stream. Angels as we perhaps have never quite seen them in literature before. Gruesome, haunting, wonderful angels.
So it's in a way everything is contemporary and relevant, and just try to get out of the normal usual way to look at it, to get another perspective, you know. And when you got the angels, you got or the divine, you got the perspective as far away as you can get, you know. So that's what all is about for me, really. So I know that the topic is very odd and strange, but I like literature that goes in odd directions. and show me things that I've never seen or thought of before then.
And, but it's his struggle to compile this, to prove what he knows, and then when that fails, to go out into the wilderness, the Norwegian wilderness, and try and find those angels to meet them. I'm interested in the work that he did after the Opus, and to remind you, because this connects back to what you were saying, he took notes on the natural world, looking for angels, looking for signs of the divine in the fallen world, and took careful notes about everything he comes across in nature. And we understand that he is looking for signs of the divine without categorizing them, writing so quickly, filling his notebook, writing so small because he's traveling that his book is black with ink and the letters are so small he can't read them. You can only read them with a microscope, which hasn't been invented yet.
This is where he sees the angels for the first time. He's a boy about 8 or 10 or something, I think. And it's night, and it's in a wood, in a river. One of them takes a few steps through the water. He hears how it splashes against the angel's feet, but then it goes quiet again, and slowly he raises his head above his cover. This time it is only with the greatest caution that he allows his gaze to close in on them. Slowly he lets it sweep across the water's black surface, into the glare of the torch, at first visible only as a glossier texture of blackness, then lighter and lighter, until it reaches the very reflection where the water flames up yellow and orange. Then he sits up and takes in everything in one single glance. The faces are white and skull-like, their eye sockets deep, cheekbones high, lips bloodless. They have long, fair hair, thin necks, slender wrists, claw-like fingers. And they're shaking. One of them has hands that shake. Just then, the other one tilts its head back, opens its mouth, and lets out a scream. Wild and lamenting, it reverberates up the walls of the ravine. No human being is meant to hear that cry. An angel's despair is unbearable, and almost crushed by terror and compassion. Antinous presses his face into the earth once more. He wants to help them, but he can't. He wants to be something to them, but he can't be. He wants to run away from that place, but he can't run. Again he hears the hissing. This time it's followed by a splash, and when he looks in their direction again, one of them is just lifting the spear from the water. The fish it has impaled thrashes its tail a few times, twinkling in the light from the torch, before the angel pulls it off the point and breaks its neck. The other one comes a few steps closer. Antinous now sees that its jaw too is shaking, but its expression is firm, its eyes cold and clear. The first one bites into the fish and pulls off a piece with a jerk. Then it takes the torch for the other, which grips the fish in both hands and bends its head slowly forward. It is as if the effort increases the shaking, and the first one places a supporting hand on its arm. And so, standing close together, the light flickering across their faces and the bottom of the cloaks trailing in the water, they stand eating the fish. Antinous stares at them, spellbound. The teeth that sink into the fish flesh, the scales that cling to the chins, the eyeballs that now and then turns up and make them look white and blind. Then they look like statues standing there, but without the life of their eyes, the deadness of their faces is emphasized. Each time he sees it, Antinous recoils in fear. They are dead, he thinks. They are dead. But when the eyeballs correct themselves, the faces again fill with life, and what a moment before was loathsome in them is now beautiful again.